In the late 19th century, London was a city of rapid growth but also of extreme inequality. The East End, especially the neighborhood of Whitechapel, was filled with poverty, overcrowded housing, crime, prostitution, and a complete lack of sanitation. It was in this environment that one of the most infamous and mysterious killers in history appeared, Jack the Ripper. The name Jack the Ripper became known after letters supposedly written by the killer were sent to the press and the police, signed with that pseudonym. To this day, no one knows if the letters were genuine or just fabrications created to fuel the hysteria of the time. What is certain is that between August and November of 1888, a series of brutal murders shook London and terrified its population. The first officially recognized victim was Mary Ann Nichols, found on August 31, 1888, in Bucks Row. Her throat was slashed and her abdomen was mutilated. Just over a week later, on September 8th, Annie Chapman was killed in Hanbury Street. Her body showed even more horrifying mutilations, including the removal of internal organs, which led investigators to suspect the killer might have anatomical knowledge. On September 30th, 1888, two murders occurred in the same night, an event later called the double event. The first victim was Elizabeth Stride, discovered with only a cut across her throat, which suggested the killer may have been interrupted before he could complete his usual ritual. Less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was murdered in Mitre Square. Her face was grotesquely mutilated, her abdomen was ripped open, and organs were taken from her body. The last of the canonical victims was Mary Jane Kelly, murdered on November 9, 1888, inside her own room at Miller's Court. Her body was discovered in a state of such extreme mutilation that even experienced investigators were horrified by the scene. These 5 murders became known as the Canonical Five. Still, many believe Jack the Ripper may have killed before or after these crimes. The common thread was the savagery of the attacks, always directed against women, most of them prostitutes in Whitechapel. The Metropolitan Police launched massive investigations, but despite questioning hundreds of suspects, they failed to capture the killer. The press amplified every detail, fueling fear across London. Over time, several suspects gained notoriety, including the barrister Montague Druitt, the artist Walter Sickert, and even members of the British royal family. But none of these theories were ever proven. After the murder of Mary Jane Kelly, the killings attributed to the Ripper stopped as suddenly as they had begun. His identity remained unknown, and the case became one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in criminal history. More than a century later, Jack the Ripper continues to fascinate and horrify. Books, films, documentaries, and modern forensic studies have all tried to uncover the truth. Even with DNA tests conducted on artifacts linked to the crimes, no definitive conclusion has ever been reached. Jack the Ripper had no known beginning and no known end. He appeared out of nowhere in 1888, spread terror through the dark streets of Whitechapel, and vanished without a trace. What he left behind were corpses, fear, and one of the greatest mysteries in history, a shadow that still haunts the imagination of the world.